I have reviewed 20 Agentic AI portfolios from the engineers applying for the experienced role in the Agentic AI and the AI engineer. Now, over here, 19 out of 20 had the exact same problem. They showed what they actually built, but not as how it would run in production environment. Today, I'm going to show you what senior roles, that is the experienced roles in Agentic AI, are actually looking for. We'll talk about the portfolio structure, the architecture decision, the production thinking, and also I'll talk about the impact metrics that you need to add in your portfolio. So let's get into it, guys. So here's what I observe in most of the portfolios whenever they are applying for the experienced role in the agentic AI and the AI engineer. So what they show is they've built RAG chatbot with LangChain, created a multi-agent system, and deployed on Streamlit. Now, all these things look great. I mean, even they are really good as well. So you can actually build things. That's what these portfolios or these capabilities would show. But when we talk about the experienced engineer, the senior roles, they're not hiring for someone who can actually build. They're not looking for someone who can build, but they are hiring for someone who can ship and maintain the solution. This is what the experienced roles are expecting for. So, what is missing over here is when I review a portfolio, I'll be asking the key questions like how do you handle the retry? Now, what is the cost? Like whenever you're running the system, that means have you implemented the cost tracking? And what is the error strategy here? And how do you deploy this? And what happens when it fails? And 95% of the portfolios that I've reviewed don't answer these critical yet basic questions. They show the features, but the key thing that is missing over here is the production thinking. Result is you get the interviews for mid-level roles, but when I say mid-level roles, which is basically the fresher role from the agentic AI standpoint, that's what we refer to it as mid-level roles, but not as a senior position. Even though you might have the domain experience of more than 5 years, when the final role that would be assigned to you after your interview, it will be the mid-level role. So the reason because the senior engineers needs to think about the architecture decision, production readiness. They'll also have to talk about the cost optimization, system reliability. It's not just about, okay, I've built a demo that works. So that's the key thing that you have to focus on, especially if you're an experienced working professional aiming for the agentic AI roles. Now let's talk about the biggest mistakes. These are the three biggest mistakes that I've seen most of them while building the portfolio. The mistake number one over here is they show only the features. Like my agent can do X, Y, and Z. But the question is how? What is the architecture behind it? Why did you choose that particular approach over alternatives? And what is the trade offs that you made while implementing the strategy? Like to give you an example, so a bad example can be I've built a RAG using Pinecone. That's a very bad way to explain any portfolio project. A good approach might be is I've built a rack system. I've chosen the Pinecone over VV8 because we needed sub 50 milliseconds retrieval for real time use case. And the trade off was it resulted in little higher cost, that is minimum of $200 per month, but it actually met the latency requirement. See, in this single sentence, I've conveyed the decision point and the trade off that we had to make in choosing this approach over the alternate approach. The first one just followed the tutorial, but in the second answer, it actually shows that you've made an informed decision. And the second mistake that I've seen over here is there's no production context. That means it works well on your local host, but what happens if 1000 concurrent users starts logging in into your application? What about when the API rate limits you? And what about when the user sends 100 messages in a single row? Might be within very small duration. Now, as you're applying as an experienced engineer, you need to know about how you can tackle these scenarios. Like, how would you tackle the scaling scenarios? That is, how would you handle, let's say, 10x the traffic? What is the error handling strategy that you have defined? Like, what happens when things fail? What about the monitoring? Like, how do you know if it's working? And deployment, that is, how do you push the update? If your portfolio says I've deployed on Streamlit, nothing else, then that's a clear red flag that you need to work on your portfolio, because Streamlit is fine for demos and even we use it for production system, but there is a caveat. The way that it is built is very different than what you would see in the demo projects. Now, the third mistake that I've seen people making is they miss the impact metrics. So here's the thing. You have built something, it looks cool, and even it looks really well when someone opens it, maybe in the local host. But the real question comes over here is, what is the latency? What is the success rate of the application that you have built? And what is the cost per request? How many users? So without these metric, I don't know if your system is fast or whether your system is slow. And I don't know whether your system is cheap or whether it is expensive. Or I'll not be able to identify whether it is a reliable one or a buggy system. Like, to give you an example, a bad example can be something as, I've built an agent that answers the question. Well, a good answer would be including the metrics which says as a build an agent with P95 latency of, let's say, 850 milliseconds, success rate of 99.5%, and cost is $0.03 per request. And it can serve maybe 2400 DAU. Now, when someone mentions this, that's when the person hearing it will know that the application that you have built is fast, it's reliable, and it's cost effective, and it is used in production environment. And that's a senior level thinking that they will be expecting you for as you transition yourself from non-agentic AI role or maybe the agentic AI role, junior roles to the senior roles. Now, the next question that comes over here is, what is it that you need to include? So, whenever you're building the portfolio, these are the key things that you have to include. So, first and foremost, it's the architecture decision. That means don't just say why you have built, also mention as why you have built in that particular way and not some other way. Here, the key questions to answer here is why this pattern has been chosen over the alternatives. So let's say if you have used the planner worker pattern, you can mention as I've used this multi-agent planner worker pattern instead of single agent because the task required parallel execution. And what trade-off did you make? To give you an example, I've chosen Redis over vector database for short-term memory because it is faster retrieval, but it does not have any semantic search. The third one is how does it work when it scales? Like horizontal scaling with maybe worker pool, and you have tested up to 100 concurrent requests. So mention that if you have done it. And also, why did you choose this particular tech stack? That means if you have chosen LangGraph over LangChain, so you can justify your answer by saying it as I've used it for better state management and easier debugging. So these answers will position you like an architect and not a person who just followed the tutorials. So, all these things will help you to position yourself in the much better position as an experienced engineer. Okay, now let's take a look into the production readiness pattern that you always have to look out for. So, whenever you're building the portfolio, ensure that you showcase that you understand the production, which where you can include the error handling like retry strategy, exponential back off with maybe 3 max retries, and circuit breaker pattern, fallback behavior. So all these are under the production pattern error handling, which is what we would teach in our bootcamp as well. Then cost and observability, like the token usage per request, API call cost, or infrastructure cost, the cost per user calculation, all these needs to be implemented. And the third thing is the observability. Like you need to log every step. You need to monitor the important metrics like latency, error rate, throughput. And you also need to implement the tracing. Like you need to see the request that flows through the system. And finally, deployment, like CI/CD deployment. It could be with GitHub Action or similar services. Your rollback strategy, like it can be as simple as keeping the last three versions and ability to perform the instant rollback. And the environment management, like maybe you have used three-stage environment: development, staging, and production. So you don't need to implement all of this, but at least you should mention that you have thought about it and document what you do differently at scale. That is another aspect that you need to do, because what you might be doing it for, let's say 10 users, would be completely different as how you'd be doing it for 100 users. Ensure that you mention it in the documentation or the portfolio that you're creating. And the third key thing that you have to focus on is the impact metrics. So include the real numbers like P50 latency, P95 latency, P99 latency. It could be the milliseconds that you have measured over there on the system that you have built. Ensure that you include those latency information, not just random words that says as it is super fast, lightning fast. Include those numbers because numbers make a bigger impact. Second, mention the success rate. So 99.2 percentage of requests succeeded. That is 0.8% fail with retry and 0% maybe fail silently. Mention those numbers. And cost. So mention the cost per request. Like for example, $0.03 per request. That is overall our application was using maybe $72 per day at current usage and $0.5 per active user per month. So these are the key metrics that we would be focusing on if we are running a business. So this is the key elements that you have to mention because it would help the bigger picture about what is the cost of running that project too. And the third key element is the active users, that is daily active users, maybe 2,400 daily active users, maybe making 15,000 requests per day and 85% user satisfaction. Let's say if you have the survey data. So these numbers would actually tell a story. These numbers will tell a story that I've built something which is fast, which is reliable, which is cost effective, and people are actually using it. And that's what the experienced professional roles, the senior roles wants to see. Now, how do you structure your portfolio then? So whenever you're creating the portfolio, ensure that you follow this structure. The first section of your portfolio is the problem statement. It can be in a very simple two paragraph. You can mention as what is the problem that the agent is trying to solve, who is it for, and what is the impact if it fails. Like for example, customer support agent would spend, let's say, 40% of their time answering the repetitive question. So this agent will answer the tier one support queries, reducing the response time from, let's say, 2 hours to 30 seconds. And the second section of your portfolio should be architecture decision. That means why this approach? What did you consider and what did you reject? And what were the constraints? Like an example can be initially consider drag over fine tuning because it is faster to iterate, easier to update knowledge, and lower cost. And we rejected the fine tuning because the support documents change in a weak manner. So you know the reason as why you have used that specific approach. Then the section 3 should talk about the production details, like what was the error handling strategy, the cost tracking implementation, observability setup, deployment pipeline. So be specific. So you should not mention some, let's say, generic words that says as I have error handling. Don't ever do that. Mention the exact strategy that you have used in these techniques. Okay, like for example, you might mention as I've implemented the exponential back off, that is, let's say 1 second, 2 second, 4 second, 8 second with circuit breaker after 5 failures. So that's how you mention your production details. And section 4 should include the impact and metrics. Like the key common metric that we always look at is P95 latency, success rate, cost per request, daily users, daily active users. So these are the key metrics that we always be looking at whenever we are measuring the success of any agentic AI application. And this is what separates from, let's say, juniors to the experienced professionals. That is from freshers to the experienced professionals. Now, what is a key difference then? See, the junior or a fresher will say it as, I know everything, I can build it. Here's what it does. Here is the code. Take the demo. This is what any fresher or a junior would say. But as an experienced professional, it's important that you should confidently be in a position that I can ship it and I can maintain it. Here is why I built it in this way. Here is how it runs in my production environment, and here is the impact of its running. The code is important, but it's not enough. Senior engineers or the experienced professionals are hired for judgment, not because they can compete with juniors for coding. We already have the AI tools which can do well better. So, your portfolio should always show that you understand the trade off, you know the production, you make an impact, and you can make the informed decision. That's what get you the senior offers. So, the lesson from this video is very simple. Demos get you fresher interviews, but production thinking gets you senior offers. So show the architecture decision, show the production readiness, show the impact metrics, not just the features, demo videos, or code screenshot. So to learn and get these kind of portfolio tips, join my community, that is community.nachiketh.in. If you want to learn to build this portfolio from scratch by learning in the right way, by implementing in the right way, learn this production thinking by joining my bootcamp, that is bootcamp.nachiketh.in. So good luck with your applications, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to our channel for more such content on AI career and agentic AI learning. I'll see you next time.